Thing that motivates us. It's all about contributing to our well-being, to our wellness in life. And my opinion is that if we live a life with purpose, we're already halfway there. Well, here I am again. Thank you for joining Wednesdays with Wallis, and I'm your host, Wallis Patterson. I don't always get to say that because I forget those sorts of things. So let me just get a little bit more comfy in my chair because I want to be talking to you more about this whole idea of ideas, needing to put work into your ideas and what ideas are out there? What are people doing? What type of, great ideas are there? What makes an idea great? And we're going to, recap on some of those things in this one. And it's called An Abundance of Great Ideas Exist. Okay? And they do. Okay, so let's jump in and talk about that whole premise about ideas, great ideas, all the sorts of things that you can do. You can call them side hustles, you can call them whatever you want. But what is it? Let's go back and recap a little bit on this whole thing about ideas. Okay, a great idea, my opinion, a great idea is something that you can put a bit of effort into and you can make money out of, that there's a market for it. So if you want to know if your idea will fly and there's a market for it, don't ask your family and don't ask your friends, okay? I don't want you to do that because you'll get misled, waylaid. You'll get, that's my little dog, you'll get, you'll muddy up the water. It'll create murkiness. Don't do that because people don't usually want to hurt other people's feelings. There's very few people that want to do that. So they're going to tell you that your idea is great. They're going to tell you that it's fantastic. They're going to tell you it'll be amazing. And they're going to tell you absolutely, yep, go for that, do that. That's not necessarily true. And I don't want you to get caught up in that. But what I want you to do is I want you to go to the internet. I want you to Google your idea and see if there's anybody else doing it. Now, there's a really good reason for doing this, or there's a couple of good reasons. One is that if your idea comes up and it's being done by somebody else, or even several other people, it means there's a market for it. It means that people want it. The other really important part of it is it's going to save you a whole bunch of work. One is that you're not going to be going out there breaking new ground, trying to find the people who'll buy what you've got, or, somebody's got to buy it. People are going to buy what you've got. Or, it's also, you don't have to spend the time and effort doing all of that. It's sort of like, well, there's a ready-made market out there because those people will have clients that, one, you can either do an affiliate with them and you can save yourself a whole bunch of time. Example, let's say that you want to help, let's say that you want to sell these pens, but these pens are amazing and fantastic, and you came up with this idea and you've discovered that somebody else had the similar idea and they've got something similar to what you're wanting to market or you're wanting to do. And it might be a course. It might be a way in which you're going to help people who are hurting or in pain. It may be, it could be a whole bunch of things. So somebody already, or a number of people already, are doing that. Okay, so look at all those people, pick out the one you like the most, and go onto their website and see if they have an affiliate program. Do they have an affiliate program? If they don't, you can write to them and ask them about becoming an affiliate with them and see what they come back with and what they offer. But a lot of places these days understand leverage. And that's what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about leverage. I'm talking about you saving yourself a whole bunch of money and being able to join with XYZ over here who already market this pen, and you can send people to their website. They'll fulfill the orders and they'll give you a percentage of the sale. Now, is that simple? That really is, to be perfectly honest with you, that's a modern wealthy concept, isn't it? I mean, it's a way in which you save yourself. You don't have to go into manufacturing. You don't have to have a warehouse full of stuff or a garage full of stuff. You don't have to do any of those things, which is why most of the things that you see on Amazon, most everything, in fact, I'd say everything. It's an amazing concept. I'm not involved with Amazon, but Amazon is one of the platforms where you can become an affiliate on. You can become an affiliate with Amazon. You can become an affiliate with one of the companies on there. So, it's like you have to put in a little bit of work and you have to create the traffic, but, you can get people across to there. Now, I want to tell you a little story about that. I did a course quite some time ago with a young man who started a number of years ago. He's a multi-millionaire today. He made $1 million in his first year, if money means anything to you. And for most of us, it means something. And he started off with a dating site. And for 12 months, so he could learn all about it and learn about everything, he worked referring people to this particular, it was when online dating sites were just starting, and he referred people to it, and he put out some really interesting things. So the thing there is that then you, if you're involved with the company who's selling the pens, you can focus on creating content to drive the traffic to your website, which you can set up on Hostinger, and you can have the product, you can have it all, you can have the whole thing. There's a link on it so that when they click on it, they go through to the actual supplier. They provide the supply of it, and you get a kickback on it. Now, nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly good business. That's perfectly good marketing, and it'll save you a whole bunch of money and a whole lot of effort. Now, the other way that you can make money, that's an affiliate area. I think that's a goodie. But anyway, one of the other ways that you can make money, talking about this whole area of there's an abundance of great ideas. The other way that you can make money is you can make money by creating content. Now, this takes a little while, I want you to think about it in this way. Think about advertising people. For years and years and years, radio, TV, advertising agencies had the grip on this. They were the ones that were making squillions of dollars out of presenting people's ideas, products. It was all advertising, it was all coverage, it was all exposure, we'll call it. Then along came the internet, and along came programs and apps and all sorts of things that you could produce. You could produce an app and sell it. I heard a story recently about some people who'd created an app around a disability area, and they didn't even have to produce what they put together. they on-sold that to a massive or the biggest company in that particular area, and they made millions and millions of dollars out of doing it. Now, you may be not there right now, but it doesn't mean you won't be in the future. It's like, start out doing something. Step out through the door, close the door, and put your foot on the path and begin, because you don't know where that'll lead. You don't know what might come of that. You don't know what sort of things unfold from that. And we're all in that boat. We're all there on the path, doing things, providing ideas or content. Or my thing is, I like to create content. I like doing videos. I like doing things. I'm not saying I'm bloody amazing at it, but I'm getting better, I believe. And if I believe I'm getting better, then I will. Even if I am not now, I will get better at it. So this is about doing. This is about the doingness of it. Getting an idea, getting a concept, being who you are in that. Yes, I've got time. I want to tell you this story. And it's an interesting story because it's about this whole thing about who are we being in what we're doing. And that might sound a little far-fetched. So hang in there. I want to explain it to you in this way. Hypothetical story. A man who decides that he likes his job, he likes what he's doing, he finds it at work that he's very good at, being the person who calms everything down, creates, we'll call it healing, creates a more healing space for conflict and things that go on. So he decides that he'd be good at this. He likes it. He'd be good at it. He'd love to have a go at it. So he decides that he'll open up a healing business for himself. So he goes out and he gets the place and he gets all the gear and he gets everything he needs. Don't do this, but I'm just saying what he does. He goes and he gets everything and he puts all his money into it, and he goes out there, and this is the critical part. Listen to the words. He goes out there to do healing, to have a healing business and to do healing. Okay, it's subtle here. So over time, he gets a few clients and he does things, but he doesn't make too much money and things are getting a bit tight and he doesn't know quite what to do, but he doesn't want to give up. He doesn't want to quit. He wants to keep going. So he keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. He doesn't get much business. Not too many people come to him. He doesn't do much. Not much is happening with this new healing business of his. So then he decides that he really can't go on with this. He finishes up on the dole, and he finishes up trying to, make ends meet. His marriage has fallen apart by this time, and that's very sad, and he's very saddened by it all. But he sure doesn't want to go back to his job because he'll look like an idiot, he thinks. So he really becomes down and out. Anyway, he finishes up coming to his senses a bit, and he decides that he will go back to work. So he goes back to work, a bit tail between the legs, as we all would feel, and he goes back to work to earn money because this hasn't worked over here. So when he goes back to work, he's not back in work very long, and there's some things go on at work, and he steps in to be, get that? Before he was doing, he wanted to do healing. Now he's being the healer. There's difference here. Think about this. If you haven't quite got it, I want you to go away and think about it. So he starts to be what he would like to do. So he starts to be in all that he does. He starts to be the healing component of it all. And his boss recognises it. And his boss said to him, I really like the way you handled that. I love it. I'd like to put you in charge of, handling all of the, being, resolving things, resolution, conflict resolution. Could you do that? Could you handle that? And of course he could. So he gets into that role and he does that. And then a friend of his mentions about a role, a not-for-profit role in a hospital area that is about, helping people, and it's about healing. So he's really, really keen on that. So he takes up this role as just, not for profit, not for money. He just goes, it's a volunteer role. He just takes this role to do in this hospital. He does a really good job at it. And he goes to his boss and he says to his boss that what he's doing. So the boss said to him, well, look, if we give you a bit of time off to do that, maybe you could mention that we're sponsoring you to do this. And so it was a win-win. He said, yep, that'd be great. I'll do that. So he does. And he goes and he does the job. He does this, role that he has for not-for-profit. And he finishes up. He does really, really well at it. He's gotten more time off. The place love him. One day down the line, the person in charge of the whole area of that decides that they've got a promotion. They're going to move to a different area. The hospital asked him, would he take on the role, and would he do that when the other person went? So he finished up moving into the role of being the healer. And the things that he did, the role that he played at the hospital, the work that he did at his job, were all the doingness around who he was being. And that made the fundamental difference. So he was being what he wanted to do. And then he could do the doingness in relation to that. He finished up down the line writing some books, being on big stages. And one time when he was on a stage, the person introduced him in this way and said, the person that you're about to hear from is a healer, and he's the most profound healer that I have ever met. So the man went from wanting to do healing to being healing. And the doingness in that followed who he wanted to be. And I remember Neale Donald Walsch. I spent some time with him one time, a few days, and I remember Neale Donald Walsch, who's the author of Conversations with God, saying that when he first started out, he has a wonderful story to tell, but one of the things that he decided to be was knowledge and all sorts of other things. And it could be something very simple, but whatever it is that you choose to be that, and allow the doingness and what comes in support of that to be what it is that you do, rather than forcing a whole lot of actions. Now, I didn't quite mean to get off onto that, but I really felt that it was relevant, and it was something that, I should talk about, and something that I feel fundamentally is very important and missing in a lot of what takes place, and I believe makes it so much more easy for us to follow what it is, our passion, or what it is that we'd like to do. gone over a bit today, hit the link below and subscribe to Wednesdays with Wallis. I do want to tell you that I will be taking a couple of weeks off Wednesdays with Wallis. This episode that you'll be listening to, I'll be absent for another week or so after this last episode, and that's because I am going into hospital to have a knee replacement or partial knee replacement, and that'll just stick me up for a couple of weeks probably, and I won't be able to get to doing the things that I love and would love to do. But don't worry, I will be back, and I'll be back running because I'll be able to get around and walk without a walking stick and being fairly debilitated through a very painful, debilitating knee. Thank you for supporting me, and please pass Wednesdays with Wallis on to people. I think there's a lot of little pearls in here that are important, and I'll be back to share more about this whole thing about great ideas, abundance, creating something for yourself, call it a side hustle or whatever you want, but creating things for yourself that will bring you in some additional dollars and hopefully make your life a little bit easier in the process and enjoyable. Thank you for listening. See you next time on Wednesdays with Wallis. Hit the link below. Don't forget to subscribe. We need your support. Thanks. Enjoy.